The Steet Ponte Auto Group in Herkimer and Yorkville and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. Good morning to Ivan and Viv watching in Liverpool.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. It's February, time for snowmobiling, snowshoeing, and baby goats. Stay tuned.
Growing young, virgin tongue, all your songs yet unsung. On her knees with the bees, let's go climb up that tree. Let's stay this way forever.
Showing today at 4 o'clock is the new French film Rust and Bone, an invigorating melodrama. It is the first film in the 5-week French film series at Hamilton College, shown in the Bradford Auditorium in the Kerner Johnson building. It is free and open to the public today at 4 o'clock. Special thanks to our sponsor, Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda in Yorkville, where we meet some of the guys. Tony shows us a sharp, showroom new, top-of-the-line Lincoln. And Joel gives us a tour of the features of a surprisingly affordable and energy-efficient new Mazda. February's here, which means longer and sunnier days to enjoy getting outside. It's the perfect time to visit the Utica Zoo, celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. Rent some snowshoes or bring your own and see the zoo in a whole new way. The zoo is open daily all winter long from 10 to 4.
But they don't care to dance with me. Well, it's not my fault if the fields are muddy and the red clay stains my feet. But when I pass through the pearly gates, my gown be gold instead, or just red clay robes and a red clay wings and a red clay halo for my head.
Pick up the new February issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine, featuring our Winter Trails Guide, historic presidential visits to the Mohawk Valley, local naturalist Matt Perry, and Mohawk Valley Girl takes us on some frugal, fun adventures. Pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine now at our sponsors, including Steet Ponte dealerships, Turnbull Insurance, and your local Stewart shop.
Color, and it shows on my Sunday clothes. Well, I do my best with a soap and the water.
The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. You go the extra mile for your small business and should expect the same from your insurance company. For over 140 years, Turnbull Insurance Service has been committed to local small business. For your commercial coverage, turn to the company ready to go that extra mile. Turn to Turnbull. Do you see the glass as half full? Then read the positive news from Central New York every day at uticarocks.com. Shop NJ Flehan during their February sale and save 10% on all pots store-wide. Whether you are outfitting a restaurant or your own gourmet kitchen, NJ Flehan has the equipment and experience. Open Monday through Saturday at 703 Bleecker Street in Utica.
The people you know, the rock you love, and more songs per hour. 92.7 FM, The Drive, Central New York's locally owned independent rock station.
Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market, known for their choice hand-cut meats, homemade breads, and fresh pastas and salads. Check out the weekly specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. The Newport Marketplace is a new kind of Main Street with over 40 vendors of antiques, primitives, and country chic, and handcrafted art, jewelry, and Amish baskets. New items arriving daily at the Newport Marketplace on Route 28, just 20 minutes from Utica, Little Falls, and the Valley.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley Living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Valley
Head into the valley to the Herkimer County Historical Society, open year-round. During the winter months, the staff is busy planning summer projects, like this summer's archaeological dig in search of the artifacts of Fort Dayton. The fort once stood right here in this area of the village.
Fort Dayton was built in 1776, and it was for protection of the people. It was just before the Battle of Oriskany, the siege of Fort Stanwix. This is where General Nicholas Herkimer mustered the troops to march for the siege of Fort Stanwix, and it was on the way the Battle of Oriskany occurred. So this summer, we're going to have local archaeologists here to do a dig in our side yard to see if we can find any further remnants of Fort Dayton.
So what he found in 2003 has encouraged you to do another dig?
Yes, Fred Doyle passed away in 2003, and people left money in his memory, and his children decided that the money should go towards an archaeological dig.
Continuing that project?
Yes, and it's only taken us 10 years to finally do it. History moves slowly. It just remains a mystery why there aren't any drawings of Fort Dayton.
So how do we know it was here?
Through Lieutenant Elmer's diary. He kept a good diary of what they did each day and how many pickets were built that day, trenches around the fort. So it's an important piece of history to have.
So are you excited about the dig?
Yes, I'm very excited. Yeah.
You can see artifacts and drawings of Fort Dayton and learn more about this upcoming summer's archaeological dig project at the Herkimer County Historical Society, open Monday through Friday 10 to 4 at 400 North Main Street in Herkimer. Since we're in Herkimer and it's February, we know that the Jones family farm is most likely brimming with baby sheep and goats. On a cold day, it may look quiet on the outside, but it's warm and bursting with activity inside.
Well, we call it lambing or kidding. We have goats and sheep, and we start to have babies right around Thanksgiving time, right through now. So we have a lot of babies. We've had about 95 goat kids and lambs combined, and it's probably the best time of the year. I love this time of the year because this is the time I get to be with the moms, which is the special part, and the babies, of course, have been really healthy this year, knock on wood, but we've had a really good year. We've been doing this almost 10 years. The sheep, actually, we got probably 4 years ago, but we've been doing goats for 10 years. And sheep we got about, I'd say, 4 years ago, just to kind of add to the mix, because goats aren't enough. So we decided that it would be nice to add those. Besides, customers seem to be a little bit more comfortable with lamb. So having both to offer is a nice combination. Besides, they go really well together. The sheep make a very low, bleh, kind of a noise. The goats are more of a, mah, the babies all sound like they're screaming mom the whole time. So.
You said you had weddings. How do you keep the racket down?
Well, we don't. That's a little hard to count to control. We did have a recent wedding where everybody was taking their vows upstairs, and you could hear the sheep downstairs kind of responding to everything that was going on upstairs.
And tell us a little about this wedding. What is this new venture and why?
Well, it was an accident. I will be honest. Some friends of ours just happened to ask us, could we get married in your barn? So we said, absolutely. We couldn't think of a reason to say no. And it was so much fun that we decided, here's an opportunity for us to maybe bring in a little bit extra income on the farm, which is never a bad thing, and open up our farm to people that want to experience this, that want to have kind of this rural country setting for their wedding to make it special.
You can find Jones Family Farm all-natural cheeses, grass-fed meats, and gelato at local shops and restaurants. And this Saturday and every second Saturday of the month at the Oneida County Public Market at Union Station in Utica from 9 to 1. And read Susie's monthly article in Mohawk Valley Living magazine. Many area restaurants are introducing people to the benefits and tastes of local products. Piggy Pat's Barbecue is dedicated to using local pastured beef, pork, and free-range chickens. They first served up their barbecue 20 years ago in their original restaurant in Middleville. And now Pat's son, Connor, is managing their popular restaurant here in Washington Mills.
We started out, my mom is from South Carolina, Lake City, and so she met my dad out in Colorado, and she brought him down, to visit her family. He had the Carolina barbecue and fell in love with it. Something he thought would fit well up here because you can't get it anywhere. So he from this area? He's from the Utica area. Grew up around here, and so once he figured out he liked barbecue so much, he brought it up here. We started doing full pig barbecues, catering, stuff like that. Did that for roughly 15 years or so before we opened our Middleville restaurant. And this year it'll be 20 years ago that we opened that restaurant. We started that, things went well, and we expanded out to here. We cooked one of our grass-fed burgers. It's Jim Kuiper's grass-fed local beef. We did that, we made our Big Bad Wolf. We top it with a little spicy peppers, onions, and local Havarti cheese and some mushrooms. So it's all local. It's served on Heidelberg bread. We also did our local pork from Lucky 7 Farms. It's pastured pork. We did that on our local Diorio's rolls topped with coleslaw. We call it our pig pile. And then we did our local BLT. It's homemade, made-in-house bacon. We make it here with Lucky 7 Farms local pastured pork. And we grill it and serve it with mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato on Heidelberg bread. Well, I started when I was 9 years old when we opened. I was bussing tables and washing dishes. Started working in the kitchen little by little. After I graduated high school, I went off to college, got my degree in psychology, and just tried other things. Moved out west for a while, but I really like the area here. I think it's a good area to raise a family, so I moved back, started a family, got back involved with the restaurant, and I'm here to stay now. I really it's like I said, it's like a family with our staff, and it's enjoyable working here. We got a lot of really good regulars, good customers, and it's something that it's nice to be a part of in this area.
2 bits of historical trivia. Not only is this the 20th anniversary of Piggy Pat's, but this bar here came from the Aylesbury Inn in New Hartford.
Come down to Piggy Pat's for some real local barbecue. Open Wednesday through Saturday at 11 and Sunday at noon. With lunch buffets Wednesday through Saturday at 11 o'clock and dinner buffets Thursday nights at 5. Located at Edgebrook Place in Washington Mills. Get your sled out on the trails. Call Turnbull Insurance and have a snow adventure tomorrow with complete snowmobile insurance protecting you and your sled. Call 735-9201 and get out on the trails. Watch Mohawk Valley Living every Sunday on Fox 33 and UTR. And pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine the first of each month. Available at many locations like these throughout the Mohawk Valley and at your closest Stewart shops.
Everyone knows the Window King for windows because he's been selling good windows cheap for years. But R.A. Dudrak is much more than windows. He's windows and doors, kitchens and floors. So whether you're looking for energy-efficient windows to save money this winter or a new kitchen to brighten up those long winter months, the Window King has it all. Visit their showroom in beautiful Holland Patent and see for yourself why R.A. Dudrak is the Window King.
Make any day a special day and a special day even better with fresh baked pastries and cookies from Cafe Caruso on Bleecker Street in East Utica. Stop in or call ahead for special orders. It's the New Year's clearance sale at the Village Crossing. Save 30% off turtlenecks, coats, jackets, and clothes that sparkle. Winter shoes and boots are marked down, and save an additional 40% off clearance items during the New Year's clearance sale going on now at the Village Crossing in Clinton.
Hi, welcome to the Little Falls Antique Center in the shops at 25 West. We have 2 full floors with 50 vendors of interesting and unique products ranging from specialized to very eclectic, primitive to the not so primitive. Remember, shop local, we're worth the trip.
Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Love is always in the air at the Artisans Corner in Clinton, with jewelry, soaps, candles, sweets, and keepsakes for the special people in your life. Shop handcrafted artwork and gifts at the Artisans Corner, open every day at 1 College Street in Clinton. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377.
I'm gonna watch the sunset in the desert. Be the prettiest sight I'll ever see.
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible. We head up north to Remsen to visit a fourth-generation tractor dealer. We're given a tour by Terry Evans, who, with his brother Greg, took over the business from their father. Terry's son Ryan now runs the family business, and Terry, a former snowmobile racer, has time for his hobby, rebuilding classic sleds.
This whole thing was started by my grandfather, which was Maynard Evans, back in 1945 on Main Street in Remsen. Then we moved up here after the four-lane was built in '65. He sold Ford tractors, New Idea, manure spreader, Oliver cleat tractors, and a few other brands that I can't remember because it was before I was even born. Oh, I started racing in '67 just for something to do, and that got a little bit out of hand, and I went right up through till '78, racing real hard almost every weekend and so on. Then I backed off from that, started raising kids and so on, and worried about, you know, settling down and doing more business and so on that. I came in second in the World Series in '75. I had a lot of other races I used to run all over on weekends and so on, like, you know, all over the country. We used to have a lot of races. There's 3 or 4 races going on every weekend back in those days. I don't call it a museum, it's actually a showroom, but it's sleds that we picked up over the years. Some of them were traded in when we were screw dealers. Other ones I bought and reconditioned. I just like the idea of having the old sleds so people can see them and so on.
Also on display at Evans Equipment is a collection of antique scale model toy trucks and tractors.
Well, the toy collections are actually, there's basically 3 generations. The few toys that my grandfather had are old, real old one. We have them at our houses. They don't end up down here. All the toys we have here are from my brother, me, my father, and my son. And it's been funny because the Tonka toys that I bought my kid when he was little, which are all metal, people keep trying to buy them from us all the time.
Yeah, and they're not for sale.
And they're not for sale because they're the old metal toys. Yeah. I just think it's real good that you know, a business can last this long in today's climate and keep going on for generations after generations.
You can visit Evans Equipment on Route 12 in Remsen and see their classic snowmobiles and collection of scale model toys. You can also cheer on one of their racing sleds at the Boonville Snow Festival Spectacular this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Boonville. We've been to some small towns before, but it doesn't get much smaller than Miller's Mills. They may be small in population, but they are grand in tradition.
Well, the community was settled in about 1790 by Andrew Miller and several of his sons who came here from Rensselaer County. And Andrew really was a miller, and he built the dam on the East Branch, what we now call the East Branch of the Unadilla River, and created a mill pond, built a grist mill, and later a sawmill. And those mills existed up until the 1950s. And originally it was called Miller's Settlement. And then over time it took on the name of Miller's Mills. And people came from miles around to have their grain ground or to have logs sawed.
The water still flows over Miller's Dam. The mill pond it created still produces the ice that has been harvested here in Miller's Mills for over 200 years. The custom continues to this day with the annual ice harvest held every February. This year it will happen next Sunday. Be sure to make the time to be a part of this tradition.
Let's see.
Nowadays, the ice on Little Lake Unadilla may be cut for social purposes, for the ice cream festival that'll be coming up this summer. But there was a time years ago when the ice served a very important purpose. It was hauled from there by horses down here to the ice house behind me, and it was in this ice house that milk could be preserved during the hot weather along with other perishables.
Every attempt is made to preserve the authenticity of an old-fashioned ice harvest. The only exception nowadays is that an antique gas-powered machine scores the ice before the actual event.
Well, my earliest memories of ice harvest were when we still used it commercially, just before we got electricity. And I can remember coming down here in a brand new 1941 Ford truck and backing under the elevator. It was parked over by that tree. The tree wasn't there then. And watching them load the ice from the pond onto the truck, and then taking the truck home and watching them unload. I think it must have been the last or second to last load that went in the ice house, because there was very little room left in there. And there were still horses and sleighs lined up to pick up ice. Nobody did it for the fun of it then. That was hard work, and it was done all winter long. We quit doing ice when we got a milk cooler and electricity in the house. And when I became a young teenager, they were doing it for the church, because the church had ice cream socials to raise money in the summertime. And we had an ice cream social about every month. And my nephew Hank and I came down, we ate up the ice cream and spent our money making ice cream. But we also, on Friday night, we turned the cranks. They conned all of us kids into turning the cranks to freeze the ice cream. And so I remember that. And by the time I was old enough to be of some use, I remember the ice harvest in the early 50s. To keep a tradition alive, something we've been doing for a long time, and to show people, something that we think it's important that the people that are alive today see, what people that came before us did. Not that we're doing it exactly as they did, but we're coming as close as we know how. And it's kind of hard to explain. It's something about who we are or what we are, and it's a feeling as much as it is. Sometimes it's really hard to put it into words, but it makes you feel like you're doing something worthwhile and just living history, I guess you would call it.
The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. Do something about your chronic pain. InterX therapy can be the answer to your post-surgical or sports injury rehabilitation or chronic neuropathic pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucherone at 853-6225 for non-invasive InterX therapy. It's the New Year's clearance sale at the Village Crossing. Save 30% off turtlenecks, coats, jackets, and clothes that sparkle. Winter shoes and boots are marked down, and save an additional 40% off clearance items during the New Year's clearance sale going on now at the Village Crossing in Clinton. That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Escape the cold winter days in the tropics at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. Your winter doldrums will be swept away by free-flying tropical birds, butterflies, plants, and frogs. An unforgettable adventure for all ages. Open all winter long, Thursday through Sunday, noon to 4, on Route 7 in Oneonta. Watch Mohawk Valley Living every Sunday on Fox 33 and UTR. And pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine the first of each month. Available at many locations like these throughout the Mohawk Valley and at your closest Stewart shops. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Alpaca Gardens has the largest selection of the finest alpaca clothing and products in central New York. Alpaca is warmer than wool, softer than cashmere, and hypoallergenic. Visit Paca Gardens. Open Monday through Saturday at 27 West Main Street in Little Falls. Get your tickets to Boston Camerata, performing music of France at the dawn of the 17th century, on Saturday, February 15th at the Wellenhall Schambach Center for Music and Performing Arts at Hamilton College. Next Sunday during the ice harvest, the Grange Hall will be open and warm and filled with homemade soups, chili, baked goods, and a historical exhibit about the ice harvest.
Well, the Grange started out as an agricultural type of organization, and as the organizations started to close down around the areas, we decided that we had to do something to keep ours alive. So in order to fundraisers, we've done the ice harvest and the ice cream social. It keeps ours alive.
You know what a feeling it is. So good to see are you at latitude 62.
If you would like to meet two gentle giants, you can come down here to the town of Columbia, or you can go to the Miller's Mills Ice Harvest, or on February 9th, you can go to Hotel Utica for an affair to remember, and you can meet, now which is which?
This is Jack.
This is Jacques,
And John.
and this is John, and they are absolutely the most beautiful creatures you can imagine.
As I tread up the road, my heart begins to race. The thought of her just scares me away.
We head from downtown Vernon out into the countryside south of Vernon Center to the Stolfas family dairy farm. This family of dairy artisans creates dairy products using fresh milk from the 3 family dairy farms. They sell their creamline non-homogenized milk and also use it to create cheese, cheese curd, and their most recent addition, yogurt.
Well, yogurt was a popular thing, and there's a lot of, the yogurt consumption was on the rise, and it was just something, it's a health food, and our goal here is to provide an all-natural product that's healthy for the consumer. Basically, because of the volatility in the milk prices, we decided we need to do something to create a stable price for the rising generations so that they can continue to exist on the dairy farm. And so my wife actually designed the yogurt recipe. It took her several months to come up with what we thought was a healthy, good, tasty yogurt, all natural, whole milk, we don't homogenize it, and there's no preservatives in it. And the fruit is processed right here at the plant. We buy frozen fruit and process our own filling here. And so it's an all-natural product, and it's very tasty.
Got a head like a bean. He steers a T-bird like you never seen. Picks up the young